One issue we can all agree on, both Democrats and Republicans, is that the tax code is ridiculously complicated. I read recently that the number of changes to the tax code and additions would equal to be over 3 per day. That means every year when you sit down to do your taxes, over 1,000 changes have been made from the year before. I mean, that's just insane. It's also cruel, it is completely unfair, and yet it seems like none of our politicians can make a difference on that particular issue. And yet we all agree it's too complicated. Well, I owe Sandy Levin a bit of credit for me coming up with this idea that would change that. Sandy is the ranking Democrat from Michigan on the House Ways and Means Committee. That committee is the one that approves all these changes and laws and comes up with some on their own. Now, this guy has been in Congress over 30 years. He's been chairman of this committee. If there's anybody in the world that understands the tax code, it should be him and others on that committee. But again, he served longer than anybody. He was asked recently, did he do his own taxes? I was shocked at his response when he said, actually he laughed, and he said, well, no, it's way too complicated. OMG! Get that guy out of there as quickly as you can, and anybody else that would make light of that. Oh my goodness. Unbelievable. That's where I got my idea. If you really want to make a change in the tax code, make it simpler, that everybody says they want to do, it never gets done, require all politicians, that goes from the president down to the lowest department head in the federal government, require all of them to do their own taxes, their own hand, their own forms, and when they have questions, they can't call their attorneys and their accountants, call the IRS. Good luck going to their website and figuring out a paragraph you can't possibly understand. They need to feel that pain doing that. Also, I'd make sure the IRS audited them every year because they also need to feel the fear and anxiety that comes with a whole IRS situation. Listen, there's nothing like getting a letter in the mail. You've made a mistake on your taxes, unintentional. You get a letter that says you owe this amount of money, we've added these penalties, this interest. Second paragraph, we have the authority to put a lien on your home, to garnish your wages, and if need be, we'll throw your butt in jail. Man, that brightens your day, doesn't it? I think it's a tragedy that the government, which is supposed to be public servants, that has an organization that we fear so much. Now, hey, if somebody steals, commits fraud, yeah, send them to jail. But the vast majority is so complicated they just make mistakes. Lastly, dealing with the people running for president. On the Republican side, to give them credit, at least they're talking about a simplified code. You know, the fair tax, the flat tax. Carly Fiorina talks about going from 70,000 pages to 3. On the Democrat side, nothing. Not a word. Yet they talk about being for the middle class. Let me make this clear. If you allow this tax code to remain the way it is, my friends, you don't give a damn about the middle class. And one last word to the Democrats. They're talking about taxing the rich. If they really want to hit the rich, get rid of those deductions for the rich. Simplify the code. They'll pay more than anybody, by far. But again, they've got friends that are rich, just like the Republicans. Probably never get done. So, the tax issue, the complication of it, huge. Waiting for somebody to genuinely do something about it. So my idea, make them do the taxes, man, what better way to make them go, okay, this has got to change.